Hi, hello, my name is Hana and this is my persuasive speech. People are always telling you not to compare yourself to others. But you know what? It is part of human nature. No matter how hard you try not to compare yourself to others, there's always an occasion to. This is because humans are called the comparing creatures. It is not always a bad thing. Sure, when we compare our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reels, as the saying goes, we can feel inferior. But we can also see someone else's life and achievements and ask, how did he or she do it? Psychologically, the human drive to compare ourselves to others is called social comparison theory. This theory was introduced in 1950s by psychologist Leon Festinger. He pointed out that humans are driven to evaluate and know the truth about themselves and desire a way to define themselves. Social comparison are described as either upward or downward. When we engage in upward social comparisons, we compare ourselves to someone who is perceived to be or performing better than we are. In contrast, when we engage in downward social comparisons, we compare ourselves to someone who is perceived to be or performing worse than we are. The directions of the comparison doesn't guarantee the direction of the outcome. Both types of social comparison can result in negative and positive ways. It also depends on our own perspective and how we can take these comparisons into our lives. There's a famous saying, comparisons is the death of happiness. Jealousy is a female trait. Don't fall in love with someone else's highlight reel. This kind of quote reminds ourselves to not bog down by the pressure of what we're not. But what if there's a good thing in comparing yourself to others? It is normalized behavior to measure our progress by where others in same demographic are. In 2008, Peter de Dijkstra made a research about social comparison in the classroom. The author found that when evaluating performance in Dutch language, 16% of 12 to 14-year-old students and 22% of 16 to 19-year-old students choose to compare with a peer who generally worse than themselves. 59% to 50% with who generally perform equally good, and 25% and 28% with a peer who generally perform better than themselves. These experiments provide evidence that when we assume the frequency of comparison to target is positively related to the extent to which comparison's target is preferred. The scientists are identifying that the condition under which social comparison generate positive effect, and if policymakers are able to adopt a non-judgmental approach to social comparison process in the classroom, then social comparison process may be used to encourage students to both feel better and perform better. Life just has a way, of giving each of us what we needed. It's not that some people deserve the life that they have more than others. I see it as a good light as I talk of comparison. If it happened to them, it might happen to me too. Delays and detours are all for the common good, because if you believe in God or the universe, bring down individual where they need to be. Having someone who lives a life close to the one you want, you know how true and possible this is. Alternatively, you might figure out that the life you want is not exactly what you think it is. Comparing yourself to someone else's can help you change direction before you waste too much time on a path that isn't everything you hope for. The difference between you and the person that is more effective besides you are that they are more reliable. They are not necessarily better or smarter or sneakier or better known. At one point, they too had somebody that they emulated. And you know what? You know what they did? They decided to work out that person. That's how I like to view comparison now. I'm seeing what you're doing and then I'm trying to find out what you're doing at a more efficient rate while still being true to me. It is a slippery slope to compare yourself to others. Too much of that and you're losing sight of goals and vision. It is time we remove the negative stigma surrounding comparison. The equality of this clinical. There is nothing new under the sun. What makes products, business, and stories feel and look new is the people behind them. Success is measured by the story attached to it. It is not safe to be envious of the achievements of other people's in life. As soon as we slip into these frames of mind, we need to be conscious and snap out of it. Rather be motivated by others too and learn from their performance. Thank you.